Gone are the days of massive servers to store all your files. We're in the era of cloud storage. And for most of us, Google Drive provides the perfect cloud storage solution. Welcome. At Skill Sprints, we're dedicated to helping you learn new digital skills. I'm Mark. Today, we're talking about cloud storage, specifically Google Drive. I use Google Drive for just about everything. In fact, every component of this video, from the video itself to the audio to the graphics that you see on the screen, are all stored in Google Drive. I'm going to show you how you can become more productive and efficient with Google Drive in this video. Let's get started. Let's start by accessing Google Drive at drive.google.com. That'll load Google Drive. I've only got a few files in this drive for demonstration purposes. Here you can see we're at the Drive homepage, and you can see some of the files that are stored in the drive itself. Now, remember that Google Drive is tied to your individual Google account. So this account is owned by social@skillsprints.co. Any files I upload will only be accessible to this account unless I indicate otherwise. And you probably will want to share files using Google Drive. One of the strengths of Google Drive are its collaboration tools, which we'll look at in a few minutes. A couple things I want to point out in the interface here as we get started. Down at the bottom, you can see an indicator of how much has been used in your Google Drive. 197 kilobytes so far, not very much. If I click on the storage option, we have some more details. We can see 197 kilobytes used, of which 197 of those kilobytes are from Drive, none are from Gmail or Photos. And files that are using Drive storage include grid.png and an Excel file called Publisher's Course Data Survey. If I click the gear icon, I'll see three options. First is Settings. Here, I can configure the settings to make Google Drive operate the way I prefer. For example, the density of information. I want compact to display as much on the screen as possible. I can also configure notifications. Let's go ahead and select Get Updates about Google Drive items in the browser, and let's allow these notifications. I can also manage any apps that might have access to Google Drive or work with Google Drive. Also in the settings is Get Drive for Desktop. I use this quite a bit. This is an application that works with either a Mac, PC, or even on a mobile device that lets you access and configure Google Drive. Google Drive for Desktop, which I have right here, shows me files that have been synced, notifications, and also allows me to access Google Drive right through the Finder. Now, I'm showing you this on a Mac. On a Windows machine, it works very similarly. But you'll see I'm able to access my drives from Google Drive right through the Finder. Let me show you how. So notice under Locations in the Finder, I have Google Drive. And from here, I can access my personal Google Drive and also the shared drives that are used by my company. These files are actually stored in the cloud, but I could go ahead and navigate to them the same way I could navigate files that are stored on my local hard drive. Here are all my company logos. And again, because these are stored in the cloud, they don't take up any hard drive space, but I can still access them simply by clicking or double-clicking. For example, double-clicking this PSD file will load it in Photoshop. Okay, you're probably thinking, what's the catch? They don't use any space on my hard drive? Well, the catch is because they're stored in the cloud, files have to be downloaded before you use them. So often there's a brief delay while the file downloads before you can use it. And when it downloads, yes, it is being saved on your local drive temporarily, and then it'll be uploaded back to the cloud when you're done. Finally, from the gear icon is the list of keyboard shortcuts. Keyboard shortcuts make you more efficient with any program, and there's a variety of keyboard shortcuts here to increase your productivity with Google Drive. We have a couple of different ways of uploading files onto Google Drive. One way is I can click the New button. Once I've clicked New, I can choose File Upload, and then simply navigate to the file that I want to open. Here's a copy of an Amazon order in PDF form that I want to upload. I'll click Open, and after a moment that uploads, and once it's uploaded, it appears and is available through Google Drive. You can see when I click on it, all the information about the file appears on the right. We get a thumbnail view of the file. We see who has access, the size, the storage used. We can also trace any activity that's occurred with this file. In this case, the only thing that's happened is the file has been uploaded. I can also upload files by dragging them onto Google Drive itself. Let's go to the Home view. And I'm going to take this image and I'm going to drag it right here onto Google Drive. Notice I get a notification that says, drop files to upload them to my drive. Release. You can see the file uploading on the bottom of the screen. And now you can see the image with the funny name is available right here. You can see the file details right here. If I wanted to download the file, I could simply right-click on it and choose Download. And once I downloaded the file, I could use it in just about any application. I'm also able to upload entire folders. If I click New and go to Folder Upload, I can select an entire folder to upload that'll now become part of Google Drive. This is a sample database that I'm uploading. We're going to go ahead and click Upload. And after a moment, the folder is uploaded and available. Click on Folders, and there's the folder that we've just uploaded. Google Drive doesn't have any limitations on the types of files you can upload. However, the maximum file size is 5 terabytes. That's a huge file. Now, any file that's over 750 gigabytes, you're not going to be able to copy within the Google Drive system. Google Drive gives us a number of ways to organize our files in folders. Because it has a powerful search, sometimes the easiest way to find files is to simply type the name of the file that you want, and it'll come up in search. You can also filter the files that are available by file type. For example, documents, spreadsheets, photos and images, and PDFs. By the owners of the file, the last modification date, or the location of the file within your Google Drive system. You can also create folders. If I click on the Folders button here, you can see I've got 2 folders within Google Drive. A Photos folder, and in it right now I have one photo called grid.png, and I have a second folder that contains a SQL database. To manage the folder, I can right-click on it, and here I have several options, including renaming the folder, sharing the folder with others, organizing the folder by moving it or adding a shortcut, and getting folder information, including the activity and usage of the folder, and finally moving the folder to the trash. Within folders, if I want to, I can put other folders. For example, if I had photos that I wanted to organize in a specific folder, just create the folder, and then put my photos of Westport in that new folder. If a folder or file is particularly important, I can star the folder or file, and then it'll appear under the starred entries in my menu. I can also see the folders and files that were accessed recently by clicking the Recent option. Here in Recent, I can filter the recent items by type, people, or modification date. I mentioned earlier that one of the reasons to use Google Drive is that you can access your folders from anywhere, and that includes your mobile device. There's actually a fully featured Google Drive application available for both Android and iOS devices. I use it all the time because it gives me access to all of my Google Drive folders and files on the go. And of course, these mobile versions of Google Drive work on both tablets and phone devices. I mentioned earlier that one of the most important aspects of Google Drive is collaboration. And collaboration enables you to share files or folders with other members of your team or even outsiders. Here, in Shared with Me, any files that have been shared with me appear. The file that's been shared with me is actually a Google Doc. In this case, it's a script I can see that it was shared by Mark Lassoff. I can also see when it was shared. I can open it and access it like any other file. If I double-click, the file opens in Google Docs. I can also control the sharing on my own files. For example, let's say I wanted to share this grid.png image. I can do this a couple of different ways. One, I can click on it, and here is the Manage Access button. This is an important dialog box. From this dialog box, I can manage who has access to a file and what level of access they have. This is important. For example, let's say I wanted to share this with Vaughn, a member of my team. So I'll put in his email address. I can create a message to notify him of the share, and then I can choose his level of access. If I make him a viewer, he's only going to be able to view the file. As a commenter, he can comment on the file, and as an editor, he has full access to the file. I can also add an expiration date so that his access expires at a certain time. Finally, I can click the Copy Link button to copy a link to the file. I could put that in an email. For this, let's make Vaughn a viewer. The message is going to be, this is a demonstration file. He'll receive that in his email. I'll click Send. And Vaughn now has access. I can see that access here. They have the access for me and the access for Vaughn. Now, anyone in the company can find and view this particular file. If I wanted to change levels of access, I simply click Manage Access. And from here, I could change Vaughn's level of access. For example, make him an editor. Change the expiration date. Remove it altogether. Or if I wanted to, remove Vaughn's access from the file entirely. The same thing is true for folders. If I click on the folder, I can also get to the access panel through right-clicking, choosing Share, and Share again. And now I have the same options for this particular folder. Here's something interesting, though. Let's say I wanted anyone to be able to access these photos. If I click on the organization name and choose anyone with a link, now anyone with this link to the folder could access the photos inside. Let's open an incognito window, and let's paste in the URL. And here you can see I have access to the Photos folder and everything inside it. I could view any of the photos that I want to. I could even download them and use them on my local machine. Now, of course, I need some way of managing the content within my Google Drive. And Google Drive gives us a robust set of options to do so. Right-clicking on any file or folder gives us the options. For example, I could rename, make a copy of an individual file. Here I can control sharing. I can move or add a shortcut to the file or star it. I can view file information, and most importantly, move it to the trash. Within the trash, the items will automatically be deleted after 30 days, or I can manually delete them by clicking Empty Trash. One way I like to organize my work is by creating workspaces. Here I can put related files for a specific project in the same workspace. Let's create a workspace, and let's call this the UI course project, and I'll click Create. Now, this is different than a folder. This is simply a set of related files that can be from different sources or different folders that I put together in a workspace. Let's add a couple of files. So here I can add files that I've worked with, like grid and this image of the robot. Let's go ahead and insert those. And those are now in the workspace. And here you can see the created workspace and the files inside it. I find this is a really nice way to organize files that I might need for a certain project. The thing is, there may be files that I need for multiple projects, but this is one way of keeping them all together without making multiple copies of the file. Here are shared drives. Shared drives are essentially additional drives that are designed to be shared with multiple people. Here in this account, I have two shared drives. I have the graphics drive, which has been shared with me. There are 3 people who are members of this drive. If I click on it, there's a number of different folders in here of graphics related to my company. I can access those just like I can access anything else on my drive. I also have this personnel drive. This is one that I created. This hasn't been shared with anybody yet, but I can do so simply by clicking Manage Access and sharing in the manner that I demonstrated before. We can share this drive with Wendy. To create a new shared drive, simply right-click on Shared Drives, choose New Shared Drive, and name the drive. We'll name this drive Demonstration, and click Create. And now I can populate this drive the same way I populated my drive. Let's go ahead and add a file to it. And now this file lives on this drive, distinct from my drive or other shared drives that I have. My company actually runs on 5 or 6 separate shared drives. We have one for projects, one is a project archive, all of our graphics are on one drive, which actually you've seen here. I think shared drives are a great strategy when you have a small company for organizing all of your content. And that's Google Drive in a nutshell, your go-to solution for accessing your files from anywhere at any time. I hope you enjoyed the video and can now become productive with Google Drive. By the way, your likes, comments, and subscriptions are the fuel for Skill Sprints. I hope you'll take a moment and drop a like on this video. See you next time.